did 7K my first day.
My God, girl.
Yeah, and I texted Scott,
Jesus,
my doctor's son, right away to say,
good.
You're so lucky.
Scott, 7K, uneventful. Oh,
That's
that
huge.
was the good
That's
one. It was huge.
No,
Uneventful.
that's huge.
That's amazing.
And I said, I might be reversing heart disease.
You
Right,
might be.
you very I
Just
believe you are.
Yeah.
I believe you could
Getting
be.
so much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
7K, and this was in sand? Was that one in sand?
No, that was
Okay.
on, and it was windy, but I have to be careful. The only thing I have to be careful of is wind and a hill. I can do one or the other, but I can't
Okay.
do both together.
Oh, we tried that on a bike the other day.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I don't like wind and a hill.
Yeah.
I don't like it here. It just kind of makes my jaw tight. So I know that I still have microvascular.
Yeah.
But listen,
you can
2
feel
years
the
ago,
difference.
I couldn't walk 60 steps.
Yeah, there you go. See?
I couldn't walk 60 steps.
No.
I would have, it would be.
Can you imagine with the grandkids
Incredible.
now? You'd be like,
Oh,
can you get Nana this? Can you
Cheryl.
get Nana that?
And this is the thing with LD, Thea's little
Oh
boy.
my
I was looking
God.
after him the other day, and he said, "Nana, can you come out and play football with me?" He's 3. I said, "Darling, I'd love to play football with you."
Oh, yeah.
Out we went 2 years ago. That wouldn't happen.
No.
Right.
I wouldn't have been able to.
Right.
No.
And
So
do you
I know I'm
by
getting well.
accident, I turned that camera on, and you just told that story on the camera. I
No.
accidentally turned it on. I did not intend it. I went over and I was like, I got to get Glenda telling this. And yeah,
And it was on.
it's on.
God.
Yeah, that's your
What can I
right.
get you?
That's
Can I get you?
No,
make you
water,
coffee,
no,
water? Water?
Water.
Sparkling?
No, just
Okay.
ice in it though.
Okay.
That would be great.
Yeah, do you
Okay.
like ice now that you're older?
Did
Does that happen to you? Or you need? I need a cooler.
No,
I need
it's
a cooler
like,
now.
Yeah. How's it all going with you?
Well, it's fun. It's really fun.
Is it?
I need
Okay.
more of your training and your experience of all this because because it's all new to me. But
It's all new, honestly.
now, are you okay if I just turn this on?
Yes, background. Oh, yes. Oh, these are your notes. Oh, yeah.
You have an impressive background, honey. I was excited about you before, but now I'm really excited about you. Oh my god! Wow. Go Glenda.
Yeah, go Glenda. Yeah, what are we going to talk about now?
You know,
Oh, yeah.
Cheryl, I hate to do this to you, but can you get me a water too?
Oh, well, I suppose that would be
Because
better.
you're serving both of us. No, just because I could use it.
All right.
Okay, so
All right.
I am excited to be here with Glenda Landry. I met Glenda through Cheryl, right?
Through Cheryl.
Yeah. And we are in Prince Edward Island, the beautiful, my favorite island by far. So we're going to just talk to Glenda about her plant-based journey. Yeah. So
Quite a journey.
it has been
Quite
for
a
sure.
journey.
So I'm really excited because I know you have a huge theater background, and you not only were in Anne of Green Gables for over 4 decades.
Yes, 48 years.
Wow. And I don't know. Are you watching the Anne with an E?
Yes. Well, because Moira Wally, who wrote it, also was a performer with the Charlottetown Festival. So I know Moira, so I'm interested. She was in Anne, for heaven's sake.
I didn't know that. And
when she
there's
was in
something
Charlottetown.
magical about that show.
Isn't it?
Oh,
I know. And I
Beautiful. Thank you,
love Anne when she writes her name in the family Bible. And you could see tears just coming down her cheeks. So I love realism, and I love the truth. I love when actors tell you the truth, and you can see it a mile away, even if it's on stage. But on film, of course, you can see it closer.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
I'm
you
seeing the
see it.
truth in it.
Absolutely. That's why we're drawn in, because we can see the truth.
I'm crying during this Anne with an E. I told Cheryl. Cheryl was the one who suggested it to me, and I cheekily thought, Cheryl,
I'm a little past Anne.
I'm not going to watch Anne because
And then you went,
I'm an adult. But
okay, watch again.
Cheryl obviously always gives me really, really good suggestions on what to watch. So I was alone and it was like a winter night, and I thought, I'll just give it a try. I'll just, the 15 minutes.
I know, and you're in. And you're in.
And I didn't know what it was. It's because I'm seeing the truth.
That's
And
right.
also,
That's what.
my mother died a few years ago, and it's her era exactly.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
kind of a cool glimpse into potentially what she would have experienced at school and that sort of thing.
And in Japan, many people say, why is it so popular in Japan. Well, we took the show to Japan, and I met many, many Japanese people, and we would say, why? It's in the curriculum in Japan.
I didn't know that.
And they have a thing that the girls say, I have graduated Anne. So I said, but I don't know what that means. What does it mean, I have graduated Anne? It means that they have taken all the wonderful qualities of Anne Shirley, her expressiveness, her joy, her happy heart, her love of friends, her love of nature, and they have incorporated it into their life. And that's when they say they have graduated Anne.
Oh,
How very interesting.
I need to graduate, Anne.
I know.
It's so beautiful.
It is.
Wow.
It's lovely.
Well, thank you and welcome. And I'm excited to dive in because not only do you have this incredible theater background, but you are also a chef.
Yes.
Yes. So for a chef to transition to plant-based is really curious to me. It's really interesting. I went plant-based first and then took some simple plant-based, professional plant-based training. Really, I'm not a chef, I'm just a cook.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to dive into that as well. But I wondered if you'd start by describing to us your journey into the plant-based world.
It was a shocking world. I had a medical thing that had happened. I wasn't expecting it, and I was merrily going along my way. Now, first I will tell you, I've been a dancer since I was 12. So already you're into nutrition, you're into always exercising, so that was not a shock to me. So I always had a good diet. I always had to fit into my costume at the Charlottetown Festival.
Yes,
so I
of
was
course.
always eating salads and always eating, but you know, I was eating chicken, lean chicken. I was eating cottage cheese. I was eating, you know, things that those days they said,
Was
oh,
healthy.
well,
Yeah.
there's healthy and then it's low fat and it's this and that. And, you know, I had to be able to have enough energy to dance, but I had to fit into the costume too.
Right.
So being aware of food and what I was eating was not foreign to me in any way. But when I had this health scare, the cardiologist looked at my tests. I had taken them all, and he looked at them and he said, you know, I don't know what's wrong with you yet. Whatever it is microvascular. But you are now vegan.
Wow.
You are vegan. Exercise, he said 3 times. Exercise, exercise, exercise. So what he meant, I took it as, I don't mean lift weights. I don't mean you have to run a marathon. I am just saying, you take your heart out for a walk every day.
Right.
And I did that.
Yeah.
So, vegan, exercise, and no stress. And I cleared my calendar so fast, you can't believe how fast I did that. Because he gave me a lifeline. That's what he gave me, Shelley. Was
Yes.
He said, I can't fix you. You can fix you. How about you do that?
Wow.
Yeah. So he wasn't kidding. And so I thought, well, I will just do that then.
And it's interesting because I often talk to my clients about you have to have a good why.
Yes.
Why are you doing this?
Yes.
Because it turns
Yes.
your life upside down.
It was upside down.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and so you just gave us a perfect example. It was
Yeah.
literally a lifeline for you.
It really was.
Yeah, okay.
Because there is a bad family heart history in my family. And so, you know, I have siblings and parents who did not fare well in the heart issue. And so all of a sudden he said, you have a little tiny something, and I could feel it. So it's not that it was a surprise to me. I mean, why was I even there, right? And it was debilitating, and it was changing the way I live. It was changing the way I was going to have to work. It was changing everything. So what was it that was wrong? But what I wanted in the end was, as you said, I need to know why I am going to adopt this lifestyle, and this was the reason. I saw what it was like on the other end if you didn't.
Got it.
I already had the end, but I needed that story to change for me.
Right.
I didn't want the end of
Okay,
story.
so that's interesting. So you saw family members who did not,
Yes.
were really probably not offered a lifeline.
Oh, they were
Right?
not.
No.
No. Nobody ever said to them, you know, you should be vegan.
Right.
They just went home and ate the way they ate before. Go, well, we'll just have a steak dinner or a pork chop dinner, and how about some eggs and bacon, and how about a piece of toast and butter? And then had another hard episode and wondered why.
Right.
Why is because nothing was changed from the first one.
Yeah.
So we have to learn from the first one and say, what can I take from that so that this doesn't happen again? There must be a way, and there is a way, but you have to do it.
I know. It's
You
hard
have
though, right?
to do. Yes, it's
So
hard.
many people
Yes.
struggle, and the truth is, you and I have talked about this before,
Yeah.
that many people
Yeah.
get that, are really offered a lifeline.
Right.
Maybe not quite as dramatic. Like I'm wondering what you think about the way your doctor delivered it, because I think that, you know what, I know some people have been offered a life, they've got
Yeah.
serious issues. The doctor says you need to start eating more plants, and don't really give any. It doesn't sound like a lot of the people that have come to me have had as dramatic a prescription that you got from this doctor. Like, I'm wondering if that's part of it. If the doctor's showing up to you and saying, this is what needs to happen.
Well, he just told me.
He told you are vegan now.
He just told me. He
Yeah,
said,
I've
you're
never heard
vegan
anybody
now.
say that.
And I just said, okay. So I was vegan at that moment.
Wow.
I never ate another thing that wasn't vegan after that. Never.
Wow.
No, I just changed. Oh, now that's not to say I didn't want it, because as you know, you're
Are
vegan.
you kidding? Yeah.
And it's going to take a while for that palate to change.
Yeah.
And first day at culinary school, they tell you butter and heavy cream are good things.
Right.
They didn't say they're not really good for heart people. They're not. It was like, oh no, we changed our mind on that.
Yeah.
No, that's still what they're teaching.
I mean,
and so,
yeah.
you know, you have to get your head around. But I just knew if I was going to get well, if I was going to reverse, not only get well, but reverse what was wrong, I better do what the doctor said. Now, having said that, I do have perspective because I have a son who's a doctor, and he will say to me many times, oh my heavens, Mom, I just wish my patients would do what I ask them to do. But now remember, some of the patients that go to see cardiologists are way sicker than I am, way sicker.
Right.
And so they're, to ask them to do one more thing is sometimes beyond what they can even imagine. It's like, oh, come on, you know.
Right.
But I didn't want to be that ill. I needed to stop it where it was.
And I actually think you're making a really good point, because I wonder if it's catching it early enough where you still had quality of life
I did,
that you
indeed.
were experiencing.
Indeed.
So it wasn't like you'd already had 6 months basically immobile because, you know, crushing chest pain or whatever others are experiencing.
You know what I had? I had 6 months of fear.
Okay.
That's what I had.
Right.
Because it didn't happen all the time, see. So I was lulled into, oh, I must just be out of shape. That must be what's wrong with me. And then it got more and more and more. I was having episodes until I thought, you know, I think I should maybe see the doctor.
Wow.
Yeah, I should probably see the doctor. So I was lulled into, I'm not really that bad. So by the time I went, I knew. All I had to do was say to the doctor what my symptoms were. He knew.
Right.
He knew right away.
Would you be comfortable saying who the doctor is?
No, I would not.
Okay, that's cool. But I just want to highlight, I am working with a couple of doctors now, and I think it's crucial that these doctors actually end up, you know, recognizing that what they prescribe to their patients and the way they deliver that message is important. It's really
Well,
important.
I would be comfortable in telling you that my son now recommends vegan diet to his heart patients.
Because of what he saw with you. Okay.
And he has asked their permission as his patients to bring me into the team.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Now, I'm not there on any medical, I'm not part of the medical team. No, he is a dietitian and he has people supporting his heart patients.
Right.
But he brings me in to introduce them to the vegan world. So they're not so scared and they're not going, I have no idea what you're even talking about. So I help them wade through the vegan world. I call them, we message, how are you doing today? I have no idea what to eat. Let me help you. That's what I do. I'm a support. That's
which is crucial for this change. I often talk about, getting a community of people, but what better than to find someone directly who has had success in making,
That's right.
in facing the challenge of change, because it is a challenge, for sure.
And this one of the particular patients that I work with has said to me, she said, Glenda, I am not kidding you. I would be gone, except for your son.
Wow.
Yeah, I would be.
That's huge.
She is so heart sick. She has such heart disease. But it's the first time anybody ever let her know that she could help herself.
Right.
Instead of just swallow pills.
Yes.
Just swallow pills, just swallow
Yes,
pills. It's
exactly.
like, but what can I do, And so she's so great, like she'll meal plan. She has fabulous support at home
Good.
to help her with her
That's
shopping
important.
and her grocery shopping and such like that. Oh, they're all on board with her brand new way of life because it is not a diet.
No.
No, this is a change till the end of my days.
Right. Right. And it's
Yeah.
a lifestyle.
It
really,
is.
isn't
It's a
it?
lifestyle.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is.
And of course, sometimes you just think, because my family are not vegan.
Oh, interesting.
So that
Tell
means
us about that.
I cook for them as well.
Wow. Okay.
Interestingly enough, unless my husband is going to eat my vegan breakfast, he makes his own.
Okay.
If he's going to eat my vegan lunch, if he's not, he'll make his own. But I make the dinners.
Okay.
And I'll say, what would you like? Sometimes he'll eat my vegan dinner, and sometimes, I kind of like a burger. I go, okay then.
Yeah.
Let's get on the burger.
Great.
And, if friends come over, like my brother and his wife and whatever, honestly, they do not want to eat vegan food. And so I'll make them a chicken crepe and a Caesar salad or something. But I will have my version of a chicken crepe and a Caesar salad, which looks nothing like theirs, but I still call it that because that's what we're eating, right?
Yeah.
But it wouldn't even look like, because I can't eat a crepe, it has egg in it.
Right.
I don't eat Caesar salad, I don't eat bechamel sauce, but I make a vegan version of that, Shelley.
Perfect.
Because I'm a chef, I can.
Yes. Well, that's huge.
It's huge, yeah.
So when you approach recipes now,
Yep.
how do you approach them?
Well, for me or for them?
For you.
For me?
For doing the vegan part. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just,
And you know how to substitute.
oh
and
yeah, and I'll make the recipe once the way it's written. If I don't like it, out comes the pen,
Yeah.
and I'll change it right away. I'll
Right.
just say what is wrong with it, so the next time I make it, I know exactly. I want to add more cumin. I need more garlic. It
Yeah.
It was bland. It needs more of that. It was too saucy. It was too thin. It was all those things. I write notes on my cookbooks all the time.
That's great. Would you say that you use more vegan recipes now, or are you veganizing your own recipes from your
That's
previous life?
interesting. Depends what mood I'm in.
Okay.
It depends if I say, oh my heavens, I need a roast chicken dinner. See how that palate
Yeah.
and that brain, all those cells will just remember, because I ate that diet for 65 years. So like, I want a roast chicken dinner. So if it's that I'm craving, then yes, I veganize that whole thing.
Right.
Mostly what I want is a potato. I make vegan gravy, no problem with that at all. And then I have carrots and peas and turnip, and isn't that lovely? And I might take some tofu, and I will marinate it a tiny bit, but then I roll it in cornstarch and summer savory.
Yes. Just to get that chicken.
I just
flavor.
wanted that
Yeah.
little chicken
Yep.
and I just saute that off and bake it, chicken
Yeah.
dinner. So that way I can still have what I call is a chicken dinner, and I'll
Right.
make a chicken dinner for them. But if I'm not in that mood of wanting my palate to taste something that I already had as a child, then the doors are wide open.
Okay.
I'll
Do
make
you
anything.
have cookbooks that you like to use? Do you have specific ones that you use?
I use the Dr. Esselstyn book of Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease, so I
Okay.
use all those.
Okay.
I use Oshigalows. I use Plant Pure Nation, and I also use How Not to Die.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, good.
So I use cookbooks that are specifically vegan.
Right. Which is nice, right?
Yeah,
nice
it's
just to-
great.
Yeah.
Because then you can go in and you're not going, oh, there's oil on that, or
Right.
I'm not allowed to have that. Oh, look at this cheese.
Yeah.
So sometimes, I that's why I like to go with books that are specifically clean for vegan.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Mhm.
Now, let's see. Could you give us an idea of what you would eat in a day? Like, what would be a typical day?
Okay, the typical day is I only eat 2 things for breakfast, so I would alternate them, or I'll
Okay.
go a whole week. I always have my oat bowl, always.
Okay, can you describe that for us before you go further?
Yep, the oat bowl is definitely raw oats.
Okay.
Um,
You're a raw girl, sir.
Raw oats, yeah.
Okay.
Ground flax seed, pumpkin seed, hemp hearts. Then a little bit of cinnamon. And then plant milk. Now, I've been using the soy milk because I'm watching the protein in it.
Okay.
It's 8 grams of protein per serving, whereas the nut milks are 1.
Okay.
So I'm just watching, always reading my labels to see where can I get the most nutrition,
Right.
because I don't eat very much through the day.
Right.
It has to be smacking full of.
That's how I feel.
It
Yep.
has to be full of protein, macronutrients, micronutrients. It has to be filling. And it has to provide me with everything, because I don't snack. Well, if I snack, I have an apple, so, you know. And then on top of that, I put my plant milk, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, and at least half a cup of blueberries or strawberries or cantaloupe or a fruit on top. That's my breakfast, and that will hold me until lunch.
Okay.
So lunch, definitely the salad, because every vegan has to have those greens. Oh my soul. I never go for the mescaline mix or anything like that. It can tend to be a little limp, and it doesn't have as much nutrition as spinach.
Okay.
I'm not a kale girl. It's a little too bitter for me.
Okay.
And you know what? I think that because of working in the restaurant with kale, I know what we do with kale to make it taste good for all you lovely people who come into the
Can you
restaurant.
massage it?
Yes,
Or worse.
with stuff that vegans don't eat.
Oh, God, yeah, right, yeah. Got it.
It's like,
On
Gary.
the salad, so
So we were on to the salad.
What about the dressing? Can you describe the dressing? Like, what
So-
do you do for dressing?
The dressing is, of course, in the Esselstyn book. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn is who I follow. So they would be 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, 2 tablespoons of a mustard, and 1 tablespoon of a maple syrup.
Okay.
So that's the ratio. And you can use whatever you want for the balsamic vinegar. You could use a dark, you can use a white balsamic, or you could use just fresh lemon juice.
Right.
It's just the acid.
Right.
So you want to be able to have the balance of the mustard and also the vinegar there, and the sweet will just balance it out a bit. The oil, which is wonderful, if you do just a temporary emulsion or a full emulsion with an oil into the salad dressing, that's what really will balance it properly in a restaurant.
Right.
But you can't do that being vegan, so you have to be able to balance it properly. So I just get my whisk out and I just keep tasting, and into that sometimes I will absolutely put on my microplaner a little bit of fresh garlic.
Nice.
And then of course you can hit that up with any kind of fresh herb you want any
Yeah.
time anyway. So there. And so my, spinach, all my vegetables, because I prep like you do.
So we can have a life, right? Out of the kitchen.
But it's all about prepping. It's
Yeah,
all about
yeah.
your grated carrot and your julienne this and your that, and then you just put it all on top, toss it a little bit,
Yep.
good to go.
Yeah.
Good
exactly.
to go. Oh, but the thing I love having is roasted chickpeas ready.
Yeah.
Do you roast them?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
a
always,
little bit of
but I
flavoring.
do. Yeah.
Oh
And you
my
can toss them in
soul.
any herb,
I
right?
know.
Or
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
spice. Do you eat spice at
No,
all?
hate it.
So I like spice. So I'll
You
really,
like hot, like on the
spicy.
tongue?
Yeah,
yeah,
hot.
yeah.
And so I will spice up my chickpeas, and then I
Yeah.
can just throw a bunch in
Oh.
in for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. And then really, when you do it the way you do, where you prepare in advance, putting a
Already.
salad together is like that fast.
Bam. It's
Yeah.
it's like no time at all. The other thing I've been liking the last couple of times is having roasted. Don't you miss your mind? Baby cabbage. What are they?
Oh, baby bok choy?
No, not bok choy.
Oh,
Baby
Brussels
Brussels sprouts.
Oh, we just had Brussels sprouts, didn't we, Cheryl? Yeah.
Oh my god. They're like candy.
Yeah. So when we did our Brussels sprouts yesterday, we
Yeah.
put them in a hot pan, clean them off, cut them in half, put them in a hot pan, like smeared them with fresh garlic, and then salt and pepper, and
Yeah.
then we squeezed like lemon on about in the last few minutes.
Oh,
like
just
a
to
fair
wake
amount
it
of
up.
lemon,
Just
to wake,
I
exactly,
love
to
waking it
yeah.
up. I was like,
And
yeah.
really delicious, right, Cheryl? Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that was good, yeah.
Yeah.
So because sometimes you will put warm on top of your salad, right? Which
Always.
is what, yeah. Which I love.
Always,
Okay.
which is wonderful. And toss it in that beautiful sweet balsamic.
Mhm. Do you make like a fair amount of balsamic for the week?
Well, it depends because remember, I'm the only vegan. So,
Right.
you know, my husband wants the other vinaigrette that I make with the full emulsion.
Right.
So that's what he wants. So
Right.
I'll make enough though, so I have some in the fridge.
Yeah.
But I might not have it like for the full week or something,
Okay.
you know. But then
Yeah.
I might want to change it up anyway.
Right.
Because I am a creature of, I'm bored now.
Yeah.
I'm bored now.
Yeah, which is why you really need to get engaged with the food, right?
That's right.
Because I've had recently
Yeah.
had someone comment that they need more variety, and I think it's really
Yeah.
not that there isn't enough variety out there. I think it may
Right.
be a case where they're not as engaged and
Mhm.
understanding that there are tons of herbs out there and tons of different acids like lemon, lime, whatever.
And the thing is, Shelley, is that it's very easy to eat vegan. You can eat very, very simply. If you want to make it difficult for yourself and make pico de gallo and all those things that take chippy chop chop, like that's, you know, a 1 hour chop for heaven's sake, you know,
Right.
you don't need to make it as difficult for yourself, especially if you're just becoming vegan. If you're just like we are talking about, if you're just leaning in, easy, just, you know, do something simple. You can have avocado toast to begin with, tomato toast to begin with, your salad, make a nice homemade soup, but make it last for 2 days. You know, easy all the way in. You don't have to be vegan cooks like we are.
No.
Like I'm into making something vegan. What'll I make for supper? You know, people aren't as excited about food as I am. So, you
Right.
know, they're going, oh, I gotta make for supper.
It feels like pressure to them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And the other thing that I'm having to struggle with right now is with my vegan friends that I chat with is all this faux meat. This is just making me mental. The other thing that is making me mental is they're calling them, you know, a vegan burger. I mean, you don't say burger because to people who ate burgers all their life, they go, oh, burger? Okay.
Bring it.
Bring it.
Yeah.
All of that. Okay, listen, you know what? It's not a burger, dear, okay? It's a patty. How about that?
Right.
We're just going to call it a vegan patty, and then your brain isn't going to go to the hippocampus and go, burger.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with wings. Oh, can we please not say wings anymore? Can we please not say bacon anymore?
I know, I hear you.
Why are we, you know, it just confuses, especially a new vegan
Yeah.
who is trying to change their palate, and that's going to take a while. So
Tell us about that, your experience with changing your palate.
my palate changed in, I'm going to say, it took a full 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, it took a full 6 weeks for me to not want, it's like, okay, well, that doesn't even, they said it was a burger, but that doesn't even taste like a burger. You know, I wanted that especially on my tongue. I needed to feel that and whatever. Well, once that palate changed in about 6 weeks and the paradigm shift in my head happened, it isn't even anything I want anymore. It isn't where my brain goes.
Wow.
I would rather have an apple. I would rather have on my Ezekiel bread in the morning, you know, I have some nice avocado, a tomato, and some apple. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
And if I wanted a little bit of more flavor on that, I might put some green onion. So the whole bacon and egg thing is gone. The toast and egg thing is gone. It's all gone. It isn't even anything. And remember, I'm almost at the 2-year mark of being vegan.
Wow. So you're
I'm
actually
new.
pretty early in.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm very early
Yeah.
in. I'm very early in.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Not even at 2 years yet. So, you
Wow.
know, it's just, I think that you cannot ever let yourself be intoxicated into the world of, I need to have ribs, I need to taste feta cheese, I need to have that. Because you see, it's the fat on the meat and everything that will carry the flavor on your palate. And you can't have that.
Right.
You just can't have that. You can
Yeah.
have an avocado and some walnuts, but that's about it.
Yeah, exactly.
know.
Yeah.
But you have to be happy with that, and you have to stop. What I found anyway is that the more you look at what other people have and go, oh, come on, I'd like to, you just have to stop all that and be happy with what you have and know that it's buying you time on this earth.
That's huge.
It's buying you your time.
Right.
Yeah.
And how do you feel? Do you feel any differently? Like, I know that symptoms went away and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Oh,
but
yeah, for
how
sure.
do you feel?
I often describe it this way, that I have the energy of 3 people.
I understand. That's exactly what happened to
I
me.
have the energy of 3 people. And my son will often say to me, the one who's the doctor, will say, Mom, in my practice, in your age group, because I'm 67, in your age group, Mom, I have no one like you.
Wow,
I
that's
have
gotta
no
feel
one.
good.
Yeah,
Amazing.
because
I mean, not the
there's
fact that
no
I don't mean it-
medication,
yeah.
I don't take anything, but that's what he said. In your age group, woman, in my practice, I have no one like you.
Wow, that is truly remarkable.
Yeah, so that's when you know.
Right, and you think about how sad that is. When you think about that the power does we hold
Yeah.
our own power for our own health
Yes.
in that case.
Right.
And and truthfully, no matter how far along you are on the spectrum of being ill,
Right. Yeah.
you can bring it back to some degree with your own efforts, and then you're talking quality of life.
Oh, my soul.
And that's the part I don't understand is that
Yeah.
for quality of life. I mean, it's all we have when you think about it, right?
It's empowering as well.
Talk to us about that.
It's
That I wanna know about.
empowering because when I was in the cardiac unit looking and thinking, oh, that can't be my future. It just can't be. So what can I do to help myself? And many of the doctors will say, I'm not God. Like, what did you do today for your own health? So this is what I'm doing today for my own health. And the empowering part is that when I start to feel good, when I have wonderful energy, I know I did it myself.
Oh yeah.
I have, like the doctors, I have no medication. I
Right.
have to do it myself, and I have to do it with diet. I have to be vegan. I must exercise, and I must have no stress.
Wow.
And so I work hard every day to be sure that I'm heart healthy. Yeah. Yeah.
So we talked a lot about food. Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing for exercise?
Well, for me, I absolutely went back to okay, first of all, what I'll tell you is that I was terrified. How about that? First of all,
Understandable.
I'm terrified because I thought I was going to drop dead in the middle of the street. So I had to get over that, and I was terrified to work out. I've always had personal trainers in the gym because I have to be strong for my work. But I gave all that up because I was so terrified. So I asked the doctor, please could you recommend me for cardiac rehab?
Perfect.
So he recommended me for cardiac rehab. He put my name in. And I'm going to tell you, a day in my life that was shocking.
Okay, this sounds interesting.
I didn't qualify for cardiac rehab.
I'm sorry for laughing. That's
See?
really funny. Wow.
I didn't qualify. And I went,
Because you didn't have a heart
Okay.
attack.
I
You
didn't
have to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is sad.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
think about, you would have felt, I'm guessing you
Yep.
were going to choose it because you would have felt safer.
Oh, and that's what I said to
Surrounded
the
by
doctor. I just
professionals.
I need some nurses beside me because I'm a little nervous. I don't know what will happen. I'm not
Right.
sure. And it came back that I didn't qualify for cardiac rehab. And I thought, okay, I don't qualify. I'm doing it myself. All right. So I always had my cell phone on me.
Okay.
Start out for my walk. So I have to be careful because I'm just nervous, right? So I had an episode the first time I went out,
Okay.
and I called Scott right away.
Okay.
He said, easy, easy. Sit down. Just sit down. 5 minutes, Mom. Just sit down. So I did,
Okay.
and it was gone. And then I could walk.
Wow.
See, I was scaring myself.
Of course, that's
Mhm.
understandable.
Scaring myself.
Because now you've
Yeah.
chosen life.
Yep.
You're grabbing a lifeline.
Yep.
The last thing you want to do is do something to harm it. Quick question.
Yep.
Did you follow any particular method of like, did you use a resource to decide I'm going to do one? You're going to start with a block, or like, was there somebody
No.
that you just use your common sense?
That's what I thought they would do for me at cardiac
Right, and
rehab.
yeah.
I thought they would like ease me in and like, oh, we're gonna go on the treadmill. It's gonna be only at, we're gonna start at like 2.5, like that kind of thing,
Right.
But because of my personality, I am a power walker. I am a weightlifter. I am all those things. But I don't know how much of that is hurting me. I don't know. So I have to start at like the beginning and see how my heart would react.
Got it. Yeah.
So I could then, after, I went back to the gym. Oh, gosh, I was like back to being a baby in the gym. Like, that was depressing. I hated all that. I hated being back to baby steps. But I knew I was too frightened to do anything else. That's what I was too frightened. And now that I've come along in my journey, I know that I'm getting better, and I know that what I'm doing is helping, that I can push a little bit further. I still always take my phone,
Of course.
but in the beginning last year, I carried nitro with me.
Okay. Well,
in
good.
case.
I mean, that's smart. That's just smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't carry that anymore.
Wow.
That's
So
gone.
tell
I'm
us what you do. Like, what would you do in a week? What would you do for exercise in a week?
I walk every day.
Oh, every day. Okay.
There is that. You must, and as I said to you, Shelley, I always say I have to take my heart out for a walk. So that's my
nice
goal.
way to say it. Yeah.
And what it used to be is so interesting because I never thought of any organ I ever owned before, ever. I was 65 and I never thought of an organ.
Okay.
What I thought of for me going out for a walk was, I wonder if I walked off a pound. I wonder if I walked off 3 inches. I wonder if see how we're so trained to say, especially in the performing arts,
Yes.
how do I look in the costume?
Right.
So that's where and from ballet school, that's where my brain is all body. Dysmorphia for sure, but that's what it is. That's your history. So for me to actually go out and not care about that, my care is only, did my heart get a good workout? And that's how being vegan has changed me. I have absolutely changed everything about myself. About everything. I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago. I'm just not. I'm not the same person. My focus in life is so different. Yeah.
And I love how you said it's empowering. So this whole
Yes, it
change
is.
has just made you probably feel like you have much more control in your life than you thought you did before.
For sure. And if something comes into my life that I find a little stressful, I go, oh, that's not good for me. No, I'm not doing that.
So boundaries, which is what I love to talk about.
Total boundaries.
So
Yes.
talk to me about boundaries.
Yeah.
What have you learned about,
Yeah.
boundaries are essential because you have to start saying no thank you
Most
to food
definitely
when
so.
somebody offers you a piece of pie or
Oh, most definitely. And I learned early on, I eat before I go or I bring my own food.
whatever. Right.
That's okay. I have friends that didn't want to invite me because they don't even know what vegan is, never mind know how to cook me anything. But so that we could see them, I made all the phone calls ahead of time. I called all my friends and I would say, oh, now listen.
That's smart.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Glenda,
Here's the
yes.
thing. I love you and I love your company. Okay? So, whenever we go down to your house, because we'll go down and have a cup of tea, or, she might want us to stay for dinner, don't you ever worry about me. I bring my own food. Oh, they also would say, well, oh my God, oh, thank you, because I don't know anything vegan, And so what was going to be happening is we were going to be isolated if I didn't do that.
Glenda, that is huge because I navigated this exact thing and
Yeah.
and became a little bit isolated from a few
Sure, you
friends.
will.
But
You
I
will.
love what you did. I'm going
Yeah.
to totally recommend this. That
Yeah,
people
just follow.
call them up and say, listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing it for my health. No, nothing on you. I tell people, I say, don't forget, you're really going to connect with others.
Yeah.
So bring your own food. But we need to actually call our friends in advance and say, listen, if we're ever getting together, don't hesitate to invite me. I'll bring my own food. I love it.
I'll tell you what I did one
brilliant.
night.
Do it. Tell us.
There were 25 of us getting together as a big group
Okay.
at a golf course in the restaurant.
Okay.
So you know how you can't bring food into any kind of a restaurant.
Nope.
That's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, okay. I phoned ahead. And I said, oh, could you please tell me what's on your menu? Well, we don't have a full kitchen up yet. It's very early in the season. I said, okay, so what actually do you have? Well, we have a hamburger and french fries and hot dogs and this and that and the other thing. And I said, oh, I see.
It's not gonna work.
I see. Yeah, that's not going to work for me because I can't eat any of that food. So could you please check with your manager, please, and ask if it's all right if I bring my own food in tonight, being that you don't have your full kitchen set up? She said, oh, I will. So I gave her my phone number. The dear, she called me back. She said, bring your own food in. I said, thank you very
Good
much.
for you. It just proves that you just need to ask.
You
just need
have to be
creative and ask.
proactive.
You do.
You just have to go, how can I socialize with my friends plus eat my healthy dinner? And we all wanted to eat together. I didn't want to eat before I went.
No, yeah.
Oh, but here's the best thing.
Okay.
I had the healthiest meal there and they all wanted my meal. They got to eat hot dogs, french fries, hamburgers, potato salad, that kind of stuff. I had the healthiest meal. They kept looking at it going, well, where did you, I made it.
Wow. I had that happen.
Yeah.
I went to a big, some kind of an event in Montreal. It was back when I was married.
Yeah.
And I remember it was in the hockey arena in Montreal. Do you know the name of the hockey arena? Anyway, it was quite a beautiful black tie affair. And it was the same thing. I had called in advance and said, listen, I'm vegan, whatever, and they were willing to accommodate.
Yeah.
But it was incredibly embarrassing because everybody was getting like a piece of chicken or steak.
Yes.
And then some veg.
Right.
And they made, which I started making after. I'm sure as a chef you know about this. It was gorgeous polenta.
Oh, yes.
Into a slice.
Okay.
Stacked with some gorgeous, red pepper slices.
Roasted veg.
And some fresh field tomatoes.
Yes,
and
and fresh
gorgeous,
herb on top.
And this gorgeous stack that had
gorgeous.
a really great skewer in it, holding it. And I believe it had a piece of rosemary sticking out of it. And then there was a sauce on it.
Oh, wow.
And it was like this unbelievable presentation. And the whole table just turned and looked at mine.
Sure.
And here I am,
I
really
know.
not trying to announce it. Hey,
Hey,
vegan.
I know.
And they were like, I would have
Well,
ordered that
that's
literally what people were
I
saying
know.
to me.
See,
would
there's
have
that. I would have ordered that.
if that was on the menu.
Yeah.
That's I love these stories, Glenda. You're so creative. It just shows. I mean, you really grabbed the whole the lifeline thing and feeling empowered, and you really said.
And I never apologize ever. Oh,
That is
I never
huge.
apologize to anybody. Nobody gives me a hard time that I am vegan. Never ever say to me, they invite me out for their dinner.
Good.
Do you guys want to come out for dinner? Yes, because they know I'll bring my own. I'll eat every vegetable you make, but my direction to them is, if you're going to add butter and milk, just please take out my serving first.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Because
Yes.
I want your vegetables,
Yeah.
super. But if you're going to smother them in melted butter, just take mine out first.
Right. Yeah.
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 And they're happy to do that.
Of
Not
course.
one person has ever said, every restaurant I go into, there is nothing on the menu. There is nothing. And I go, well, look at that. They have pasta, they have vegetables, and they have a little bit of, sauce over there. I could have that. So I just say, I'm vegan, please. Could the chef make me something, please? Honestly, not one restaurant has turned me down. The chefs are happy, beyond happy. It's like, yeah, something different.
Yeah. Right.
And what I've eaten that has been the chef's choice that day, Shelley, would be, it's like, thank you very much. Thank you. It's nice and clean. It's full of, and then I always say dry saute. There's no butter, no oil, and chefs they find it hard to dry saute anything.
Right.
They want that oil, they want that the minute you put something in the pan.
Yep.
And I'll say, well, you get that pan screaming hot, and then you add a little bit of broth and watch you go
Yeah, that's
if
right.
that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And then put my vegetables in.
Yeah. I've had the same experience, Glenda,
And they're
honestly,
happy
where
to do it.
yeah, where I'll just ask, and then I just try to engage with the server like I'm positive, and like you, I'm
Yep.
not I'm just saying, you know, do you think he'd be able to do that? And then
Yeah.
I absolutely
Right,
make
right, right.
sure that I give feedback.
Yes,
And
exactly.
I say, thank you so much. I really
Right.
appreciate
That
this.
is
you know?
so true.
Yeah.
I never leave a restaurant without saying, could you please tell the chef I
Yes.
enjoyed that so much? I'm just aware of things like that, and to let the chef know as much information as you can.
Mhm.
And sometimes that the chef has made me something in a restaurant, I would say, you should put that on the menu.
Oh, I've said that too. I
You
know.
need to put that on the
I
menu.
know.
Lots of people would eat that.
Mm-hmm. If you were gonna talk to us a little bit about what you feel like the biggest challenge was.
I guess the transition, it was a definite decision on my part though, so it wasn't a challenge, and that is to do the faux meat the first 6 weeks while I was transitioning,
Okay.
and then to stop them, because I knew they weren't healthy and I knew that they weren't clean. So I guess that was the big challenge for me, to go full tilt whole food.
Got it. Okay.
I had to stop this, but this was critical.
I like that you're
That
bringing
was
this up,
critical.
because I think that's important that
Yeah.
people realize it is a process.
It
right?
is.
And you don't have to be
Yeah.
perfect.
No. And I
You
wasn't,
just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not the food police, and I will not be the food police.
Oh, I think that's important. I really do. That's not our job. And I think the way you've embraced, you know, I mean, it's just inspiring the way you've embraced. It's your lifeline. It's nobody else's. You're not apologizing for looking after your own health
No.
and improving the quality of your life.
No.
And it's incredible. So you mentioned that you wanted, the doctor also said to reduce stress, and you took that
Yes.
seriously. Can you talk a little bit about that? What does that look like in your life for you to reduce stress?
Wow. For me, because I have a very high stress career, in the kitchens and certainly on stage.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I really had to reconsider whether I would continue with my career. I'm still struggling with that. I haven't made a concrete decision yet. I certainly have had a lot of journaling about that. I write and write and write. How do I feel today about that? Do I feel like, I guess my decision about having less stress comes from as well what I will take on, what people ask me to do. And I'm more willing then to say, oh, well, I'm sorry, I can't possibly do that, but thank you for asking.
Oh, that's lovely. I
Yeah,
love
that's
that.
lovely. Thank you for asking,
I
but I
love
can't
that we
possibly
handle
do that.
Yeah.
So I look after myself that way. I still have major decisions to make. As we say, you know, I'm very early into my process, and I'm still in the process of having to decide, is my career going to continue? I also have to think about my family. Am I putting myself at risk? And then they would have to look after me?
Right?
That's like huge. That's huge. I don't want anyone to have to look after me. I want to look after me. So I will decide if this area of being a performer is still too stressful for me, I will let it go. I'm going to have to. And you know, people who come to stages in their life, you've had major decisions to make. You have to make that decision, know it's the best for you, do it, and move on.
Right. Good point. Yes.
Yeah. So I can't be second guessing and saying, "Oh, I wish I hadn't done that. Crap."
Right. Yeah. And I think you're right. I think really it's about
Dang.
saying, I've gathered, and I love where you're saying I'm in transition right now. I'm not really sure.
That's right.
And you know, I know in my life before I
Yes.
became a vegan, before I started really looking after myself.
Yeah.
I thought I would need to make a decision right away. Like there was no transition period where I would allow myself the compassion that I needed to say,
That's right.
I don't know. And I may not know for a year.
That's right.
And you know,
I'm not taking any shows right now because I'm still in transition.
okay.
But I do know that being a performer since I was 13 years old, I know it's like walking on a high wire almost every night. That's how stressful it is. In our business, we say if you're not nervous, you're not ready. So that's where your heart is and your brain and because in the performing arts, you not only have to know your role, you have to know their role too.
Right.
Because they may be having an off night. And I've saved many an actor on the stage, and they have saved me when I had a bad night. But I can tell a stressed actor on the stage right away because I just look in their eyes and I go, oh, oh, oh. So I have to know her lines. I have to know where we're going. And I have to know if I look in the wing, someone is supposed to come out to talk to me, but they're not there. So I know that they're still in the dressing room. Stage management has to go and get them. So I have to make up stuff in front of 1,000 people while they go get that actor.
Right.
So you see, you have to be, you're on all
Like
the time.
Super on.
Yeah, super on all the time. That's why people will say, you know, oh, you were with Anne for that many years, weren't you bored? No, I was never bored because you're always on. Every show is a new show.
Yes.
And we want to hear the laughter for the first time. These people are only hearing this line for the first time. They never heard it before. So you can't deliver it like, oh, I said that last night. And the night before that. But
that's fresh every single time. Yeah.
So that's the kind of stress that I have to reduce in my life. So I'm still in that transition of what is too stressful and what is just stressful enough. I don't know yet, Shelley. I have no idea. Yeah.
It's okay that you don't know.
Yeah. But I have the people that I see in my life bring me joy and peace. And anyone who doesn't bring me joy and peace is already gone. I had to.
I'm going to have to. It's not an easy thing to do.
No, it wasn't easy.
Important. And
I had to do it for my health.
Yes, and I think once you bring your health to the forefront, those decisions become a little easier. And I don't know what your experience is, but mine is not that I didn't have to confront people. I just stopped arranging dates with them, and when they called for lunch, I was busy.
Sure.
And gradually they just fell away.
You can, absolutely so. You can soft pedal that whole thing.
Yeah.
But at my age, at 67, with a health scare, the most critical thing that stays in my brain at all times is you are running out of time to live your authentic life. You are running out of time, girl. So every decision has to be critically made so that the next, if I get 25 years, they're going to be beautiful.
Oh, Glenda, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, so that's where you go. And that's why being vegan is so important to me. And I will work at it, and I still, you know, I would try every day, can I be the best today? And some days you just go, you know, I don't have any vegan bread, I'm just going to eat that roll over there. But it's not every day you're going to do that, you know? And it has to be all right in your body. You're not going to beat yourself up about it. And, you know, it's okay. It's okay. It's just food. We could just say, it's just food. It's just a carrot. It's just bread. It's just, you know, but people get so hung up on, oh my soul, how many calories is that? And how many, you know, micro and macronutrients and how many whatever, you know. And when we were growing up, if you go back to the way that you grew up, and now I am talking before fast food. So that's when I grew up.
Well,
was
me too, though.
Before fast food. Yeah. So my mother never ever said how many calories is in that, because we ate just what I can remember growing up is that you never said, like you might go in and say, you know, what are we having for dinner? That didn't mean your mother was going to say, oh, we're having chicken cordon bleu tonight, you know?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
She'd say, you know, I'd say, oh, what are we having for dinner tonight? Chicken.
You're right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what she meant was, we're having potatoes and carrots and peas and turnip and chicken. But it's not called anything. It's just called dinner. So what are we having for supper? Supper, that's what we're having for supper.
Yeah, exactly.
So food did not have the place that it has today. We have really, really taken food and put it on some kind of a pedestal. It's like everybody takes pictures of their food. I don't have one picture of anything I ate when I was a child. Like,
Yeah, I know.
no.
On that note,
Mhm.
you know, I have a question for you about that. Part of what I'm seeing,
Yeah.
because we have such a fast food culture and it's so highly, you know, dense with fat and you
Mhm.
know and salt and sugar,
Yes.
we have a huge generation of people who get almost exclusively find their pleasure
Yep.
in food.
Right.
And I know one of
Yes.
the YouTube videos I just did was me, you know, exploring. I've been exploring this for years. My
This is
relationship
so
with
interesting.
food.
This is so interesting.
Because
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
here's the truth of which
Mhm.
I'm not even sure I really said this in the video, but it won't be the last one I do on my dysfunctional relationship with food. I'll tell you that later. But you know what? The thing is that I was yearning for some kind of pleasure, like a hit. It
Yes.
was like a hit
Yes.
of
Yes.
you know, maybe like I don't know, maybe in other worlds it would be a hit of a drug or alcohol or gambling or shopping. For me it was food.
Sure.
And I would literally be thinking about what the next. Now I also like to cook, and
Yep.
I often wonder if because
And you
my
have an
drug
incredible kitchen.
my drug of choice I think was food.
Yes.
And here's what you need to know, and I'd love to hear what you think about this. So I would always say almost exclusively my pleasure was food because I was in a very difficult marriage. My kids were all in struggle. I was really living it was hell basically for many years. And I was trying to do better. I was trying to be a better mother, better wife, whatever, but I didn't know where to go with it. And so food became really, really a critical part of my pleasure in the day.
Yes.
And when things changed, which I went into more detail in that YouTube video, the truth of the matter is I gain far more actual pleasure from food now than I did then. The pleasure I got from then was like this hungry yearning for relief. It was almost like I wanted relief, and I was a big baker. I did a lot of baking, and so it was a lot of sweets and salt's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
So and it's interesting because the way I enjoy food now is much, much deeper.
It's not
and
hitting
more
you in the pleasure
profound.
zone of your brain. It's not like a hit of cocaine. Not that I've ever had cocaine, but
I haven't either, but I agree.
no,
I think
it's
that's true.
not
Yeah.
smacking that pleasure, because the pleasure part of the brain is triggered with sugar, and it's triggered with salt, and it's triggered with fat. And we, as North Americans, pour that all over our food. We pour it all over our salad. Why can't we just eat the tomato? Because it's not going to hit the pleasure zone, that's why. Because no one ever craved a tomato, and I've never craved lettuce. But I'll crave what I pour on it, sure, because it's the pleasure zone.
Right.
This is so interesting because I am a foodie, for sure. I want to talk about food, I want to cook food, I want to eat food, and I want to show my love with food. Here, have some food. I want to cook exactly what you love, and then I want you to go, oh my,
That was so good.
I want you to do that. That's what I want you to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, then I turned vegan. This happened. I wanted to become, and I think I said this to you one time, I want to become the best vegan chef there ever was. I want to study vegan. I need to be a vegan chef. That has all sort of dropped away.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, the whole foodie thing is gone.
Right.
I just use food to eat for nutrition.
For fuel,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it has changed. Yeah.
So I read lots of really cool things about you on the internet because you have such an amazing career. And at one point you were quoted as saying, "I want them to fall in love with my island" in an interview when you did Glenda's Kitchen.
Oh yes!
Yeah, that
Oh, I
was
forgot
really,
about
really
that.
cool.
Aww.
And I wanted to ask you, you said, "I want them to fall in love with my island," meaning your audience, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if you can tell me how you think PEI is handled, like can vegans fall in love with PEI? Do you feel like you've got a good culture and restaurant scene here that would support visiting if you're a vegan?
Well, I would say it's definitely coming. I would definitely say to you that Prince Edward Island is still very fish heavy for sure. There are very few restaurants, I can name 2 that I can go to that I wouldn't have to say, oh, excuse me, I was wondering, could you make me something in the kitchen? Okay? And they're happy to do that, as I say. But if, in fact, I'm going to go to the menu, really, I would just rather cook at home because there's just nothing I can eat.
Right.
Because it's covered in so many things. It isn't clean food anymore.
Right.
The island is still very heavy on lobster and chowders and fish and chips and the island beef is gorgeous, and the scallops and the mussels and the oysters. And see, this is why people come here. They're going to have, a fish fry on the beach. It's all those things. So for vegan, yes, we have a vegan community. Yes, we have vegan potluck. Yes, we have, we're having a vegan a day in the city, which is wonderful, on August 4th, actually.
Great.
And so, and all the vegans will be there and we'll support each other and all that. Can you come here and visit on this island as a vegan? Yes, but go to the grocery store and get your food and just eat whole food and, have some, have an apple, have some, but if you think you're going to go to a restaurant and get vegan chili, and if you go to the 2 vegan restaurants, yes, but other than that, it's going to have meat in it. There's going to be, look, sometimes I go out with my husband and honestly, I have to eat all sides. I can't eat anything on the menu because it blows me away. It's like, okay, well that has chicken, and then that has beef, and then that has seafood, and then that has bacon, and then that has cheese, and then that has, and I go, well, does anybody have an imagination? So I have to have like a baked potato, that's a side, then I have to have mushrooms, that's a side, and then some asparagus, and that's a side, and I go, okay, well, I'm having sides tonight. But, you make it work.
Yeah.
But I would wonder, where is there a place that is really, mostly or has a big percentage of vegan? Where would that be?
There are spots in the world for sure.
That would be great to know.
Yeah, there are. And and I think I live in Oakville, and I can definitely eat.
Where? 5 places?
Oh, right. Yeah, like not more than 5.
Yeah.
Like, but not. And the other part, if you are near a Whole Foods or a grocery store that has a salad bar, but Whole Foods actually has a section with no added oil, all steamed and everything. So it's a little pricey.
See, we don't have that.
Yeah, although now that Amazon has purchased it, the prices are going down for sure, which is nice.
Wow.
But I can,
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
See, the salad bar that they have, like say at Sobeys or at Superstore and things like that, it's all covered in oil and mayonnaise. So I can't eat any of that.
Yeah.
I can go get some lettuce.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah. And I know that for me, when I'm staying here on the island, I'm staying with my cousin.
Right.
So we're all vegan. So we really work the system.
Right.
And we do go out to restaurants. There are a few restaurants that are outstanding here, but they're not heart healthy. They're not heart healthy vegan.
No, and you can be a lazy vegan. You can be a vegan and very lazy.
Right.
And you can eat not heart healthy.
Right.
So that's not the gig.
Right, and I think I think it's going to take some time to have these restaurants start to offer it to our generation, because if you're 30 years old and you have no health issues and you're becoming vegan for environmental reasons, that's entirely different.
I know.
But we need some really clean restaurants.
That's right, because that's what I say about being vegan or being whole food plant-based, is that, geez, these are vegan. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oreos are vegan.
Oreos are vegan.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing. But they're not whole food.
No,
so that's why I like to say I'm more whole food
Me
than
too.
I am
Me too.
vegan, really.
Speaking of Oreos, how do you handle dessert?
I don't eat it.
Okay.
That's good. I'm not eating that. And I don't want it. I will make it for you. Look, I was with my grandson this morning. Oh, we made cinnamon rolls because my daughter was having someone over this afternoon and wanted to serve coffee and a little treat, you know. So I made some fresh cinnamon rolls with the little one. I don't eat them. They have butter and milk in them.
Right.
And when your palate changes and your paradigm shift happens, you know you can't have it, so stop trying to figure out, how could I have that?
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Mm-hmm.
So just move on with your day.
Right.
And I do. I just move on with my day. But always before I go to bed, I'm going to say around 8 o'clock, that's my fruit. That's when I have fruit. I'll have
It's a little sweet.
oranges.
A little sweet,
Yeah. And you know what I love? I love the you know when you make coffee in the morning, it's like, oh, I like the whole idea of making it, and this is what I do. Same thing when I have fruit, and I was like, oh, now I'm gonna peel an orange.
We come from the same cloth, honestly. Cheryl, you know that, right? I'm like, are we gonna do some fruit now? And I create a platter for myself. Like I'm by myself with the dog. Who, to be fair, he does eat some
of it, yeah.
But you know, I will create this beautiful platter, and I take it over because that's my issue too. Is in the evening.
Right.
I used to snack in the evenings years ago. Like
Oh.
that was when I would really snack.
Oh, right.
And
yeah,
so
yeah,
when
yeah.
I know I'm having fruit,
Yep.
I thinking about it is gone.
It's
and then
cool.
I know, I've got those.
Oh.
I've got that selection on the counter tonight.
Now, this is another
Yeah.
thing we should talk about too.
Okay.
That because we eat such a clean diet, a lot of those decisions around food through the day are gone.
Which is so nice.
See, no stress. All
No.
that is gone. You just
Yeah.
go, I don't eat that.
Because I do the same as you. I do the oat breakfast, the salad
Mhm.
lunch. The only variable in my day is my dinner.
Yes, mine too.
Yeah, and
Mine
then
too.
if I do
Mine too.
if I do the weekend prep,
Yep.
then that's even reduced.
That's right, because you know what
Yeah.
you've prepped.
And then I
Right.
do have places I can go and I can order. I have a few restaurants around that will do, you know, no added oil, no, you know, I
Yeah.
can just request that and then so I can do one night out. Usually I eat, you know, one night
Right.
or have it delivered.
But my kingdom for someone who'll cook brown rice. Oh,
Oh
come on.
my God,
It's like,
you're right.
please, could we cook? In many restaurants I worked in, I said, could we please, we have jasmine rice, we have, you know, white rice, we have black rice, we have what, could we cook some brown rice? No, we can't because nobody will want to eat it.
It's
And
a-
so you go to an Indian restaurant and they have, you know, lovely vegan, you know, toppings
Yeah,
on white rice.
right. I know.
It just makes me mental. It's
Yeah.
like, well, but there's no nutrition in that, and but anyway, that has become, you know, and I'm a dog with a bone and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
Well,
not
good.
giving up on
we
that.
Need you. No, we need
I'm
you
not
to be
giving
a
up
dog
on
with
that.
a bone
They're
crew.
gonna
We need
start,
you.
you know. So yeah, those choices, it has made life easier because those choices are gone. And how many times when we weren't vegan, when you struggle at night going, oh my gosh, I know there's chips in the house, I probably should have some chips. No, I shouldn't have some chips. Yes, but I want some chips. And so that whole thing is happening, you know.
It's exhausting.
Exactly. And then you go and have the chips, and then you hate yourself because you eat the chips. See, all that angst in my life is gone.
And you know, I talked about this once before, and you may have seen it. And that angst was so much part of my life. This whole crave,
Yes.
you know, crave, get the hit, feel guilty. That whole
That's
thing
right,
was
that's
so
right.
bad.
That's right.
that
Feel
when
guilty.
when it was gone, because I had about the same as you. I actually I didn't have the same journey as you. I leaned in for a few years,
Right.
and then like 11 years. Maybe a little over. It's a little over 11 years now.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
like, this is working. That's it. Like the door closed on carnivoreism.
Bam.
And so I said, that's it. I'm a vegan. That's
Right.
great. But so you know, after I went completely vegan, the same thing happened as you. There was a point in time I had a difficulty with cheese. I personally love Paris, and I'd gone to Paris a couple times. It was very difficult.
Yeah.
So but over a period of time, and I'm not even sure, it's so long ago, I don't know if it was a couple of months or what it was, but a couple of months in, I remember literally missing that crazy like loop of craving thing. Like it was actually a part of like a part of the excitement in my, can you imagine?
No,
like,
I
how
can.
sick is that?
Yes, no,
like,
I-
how about,
absolutely.
you know, how about do something truly exciting, like,
Yeah.
you know, put yourself out there, or learn a new language,
No.
or I don't know.
No. But when you're a foodie, that's exactly where your brain goes most of the day.
And
Food.
Yeah, and I literally
Yeah.
thought to myself, oh my
Yeah.
God, I am missing that crazy loop of craving and guilt and the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I would think about things, like I would think, I would be thinking about like what I was going to have, you know, maybe
Yeah.
I was going to make some potato wedges for dinner and whatever was going to go along, and I love French fries, that would be one of the craving things. And I would think, I would literally try to find that craving, that yearning, and I'd be like,
Funny because
it's
you
gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Right.
And of course, emotionally,
Yeah.
it's just a better place to be.
It is. Yeah,
You
mine's
know?
gone too. Mine
Yeah.
is just gone.
And people
I don't have it
they
anymore.
don't, like, they look at me and they turn their head and they say, how can you do
Oh
this?
my
And I say,
God,
you don't
don't
understand.
you want that? Don't you? And I go, no. I
Not
don't
only
want
do
that.
I not want it,
Yeah.
I really don't want it. Like
Yeah.
it's not even that I miss
Mhm.
it. Like I don't want to be obnoxious with people, but it's, you said this. You know, it's not that I don't crave it. I literally don't want it. Like if you
Yes,
put a cake
exactly.
in the middle of the table, I would be like, seriously, no, thank you.
Exactly.
And it's not because I'm trying to be virtuous or
Mhm.
what am I, Cheryl? I'm righteously indignant. That's my
Yeah.
drug of choice with my emotional issues.
Yeah.
I'm righteously indignant half the time, and it's not because I think I'm better. Honest to God, I don't
No.
want that. It's not, you know.
I
I seriously
have-
don't want it.
Absolutely decided, and I know this, any place I go, there's no food for me.
So
I
you
go-
let it go. You
Oh, yeah.
just literally let it go.
But I go to the
Yes,
thing.
yeah.
Now we had to make. We had a little death in the community, so we were all making sandwiches. I was on sweets, and you know, so you make what you're supposed to make to take to the church. All the tables were filled with all those sandwiches and with tuna and salmon and you name it, and bacon and the whole table of sweets and whatever. And I had water because there is nothing there for me.
Right.
And I know this banquet that we just made is not actually for me. So I wouldn't even pick up a plate because there's nothing there for me.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it was like you made the decision prior to
Oh,
it, right?
goodness,
Yeah.
yes. And
And
so
I
that's
just-
the thing.
I just find
Make
it's
it.
so inspiring because you still actively live in the world of like non-vegan food.
That's right. I live in that world.
I don't. My
You don't?
I don't live in that world at all. Like
Oh, really?
I haven't cooked. Well,
Yeah.
I'm divorced. I think maybe it's going to be 11 years this year coming up. So I'm forgetting. So that's a good sign.
Yeah.
I think it's 10 years at least.
Okay.
I did cook for my ex. I cooked
Right.
like you did. I
Mhm,
cooked
Just-
regular food for him.
Sure.
But after that, I did cook a little bit for a few years for one of my sons who has special needs and had some
Sure.
issues with food.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know. I'm gonna say 5 years ago, I sort of said, or it was before that really, but 5 years ago, my house went vegan.
Okay.
And so I have a lot of respect. It shows
Yeah.
the power of
Yeah.
you making the decision, because
Yeah.
I don't actually have to make that decision,
Right.
but it shows. I love that you do,
I
because
just do.
because
I just don't
you
eat
are.
that.
I am in my community. I'm part of this group that will prepare food for someone
Oh,
who's passed.
definitely. And I expect to
And-
be called.
Yes, and
I'm
see,
part of that community. If you don't call me, I was going, well, what about me?
right.
I can still make cookies. I could make a tuna sandwich. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and I love that you're offering that. You're showing that that's an option as well.
It
you
is.
know,
It's definitely an option. But when you go to your friends' homes, when they invite you for dinner, are they all vegan?
no, they're not.
All right.
I more and more of my friends are now.
Oh,
believe it or
that's
not.
that's encouraging.
Health issues
Yeah.
happen there.
Mhm.
You know, so I have a group that's
really
a
encouraging.
growing group that's.
Yeah.
But no, they know. And I do the same as you. I bring my own food.
Oh yes, absolutely. I just say, please invite me. Just invite me.
Yeah, and
I'm cool with everything.
and they know I typically bring I bring enough so everyone can try it, because I'm excited to have them try
Oh,
what
now
I'm
going to start that. because
I
I
always
don't
do.
do that.
Yeah,
I
I
just
always
bring
do.
enough for me.
I also, if you know my
That's
friends,
a really good idea.
any of my friends are watching, you know, I'm a bit of I love entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
So they are incredible because the majority of my friends are not vegan, and my relatives, and I have most of the events at my house, and they are 100% vegan, and they are all very sweet, and they eat all the food.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I might adopt that. I might do that. But I am going to adopt whatever I bring to someone's house. I will bring lots for others should they like to try.
Yeah.
And then if they don't want to, I'll just bring it home and eat it myself. So it's okay.
Yeah, well, no, I was saying to Cheryl, I can't remember where we went, Cheryl, and I said to Cheryl, you know, we went somewhere and we brought extra, and I said, trust me, we're not leaving this because this is so good, and they may not value it the way we do.
Oh,
know?
and they
so
won't.
Like,
Yes,
and I just put the lid on the way I go with it.
Yeah.
Where before I would never do that. You know,
Exactly
but I
so.
brought-
Yeah,
But-
I'd love to talk for a second about vegans that are really suffering a lot at the hands of people who are judgmental. And especially, for instance, if they're, let's talk about, you know, if you're paleo or if you're keto or if you're vegan or if you're whatever, you know. Now, I had a friend who came to stay with me, and of course I was vegan at that time, so she just ate whatever I ate. And
Nice.
she said, you haven't known, Glenda, but for the past decade, I've been pescatarian. And you know why I never knew? Because she never said.
Wow.
She never said.
Amazing.
And so she would come to visit me,
Yeah.
and she would eat what I gave her. She said, because you know, one meal is never going to kill me. So I just am polite, and I eat what you serve me. But I don't put a label on myself to say, well, actually, I'm pescatarian. So, you know, I'm wondering, in your experience, are we telling people way too much about ourselves? Are we labeling ourselves so that they go, oh, no, you're what? So the same with keto people. Oh, I'm keto. I can't possibly eat your potato. I can't possibly. And I'm wondering if that's where the controversy is coming from and why there's so much backlash on, you know, if you're vegan or if you're, and families don't understand and they give people a really hard time because of the food choices they make. Whereas perhaps, I don't know this, perhaps if we didn't say so much, and you know, there's that one thing out, how will you know a vegan?
They'll tell you.
Or they'll tell you.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is what I wanted to ask you. In your experience, is it better to just, well, certainly not say you're vegan, but, you know, I mean, because there has to be some way around the food issue, right? But I'm wondering if we give way too much information.
I think you're right, and I think I've probably done both. I've probably announced I've been vegan in a few cases that I shouldn't, but I often, if I'm going somewhere, that there are people that don't know me. I remember being at a dinner party. It was like a cocktail party, I guess. So they had a lot of walk around cocktail stuff.
Right.
And a few people I knew, a bunch of people I didn't know, and I remember, I normally don't say that I'm vegan.
Okay.
Because it's it's mine.
Right.
It's mine.
Yeah. Right.
And also, I manage the food issue. If I'm going to go somewhere,
That's right.
I will bring an
I've already
appetite.
managed it.
I would imagine I would have brought. It was a little while ago this happened, so I probably brought my own vegan stuff, and I will just eat that.
Yep.
And but I do remember I don't tell people I don't want to talk about whether you're keto or I'm vegan. To be honest, I want to know where are you going on vacation.
That's right. I know.
What book are you reading right now?
That's right. Yes, exactly.
Like you, I have more time now because I'm not so emotionally distraught about my food
me
and
too.
everything else.
I don't have that distraction anymore. It's my food is just very, very, very simple now. I can figure it out in a moment. So.
And I honestly have no issue. Like I do not mind if someone is not vegan. I feel it's very much a personal choice.
I agree with you. Absolutely
it has absolutely been a game changer for me with my health. Obviously, it has for you.
Oh, absolutely has been.
Do I wish some of my family members were vegan because they're not? They're eating really unhealthily. Sure, but not my business. Not
No.
and like you said it.
Yeah.
You said it. You said this is mine.
Yeah.
I'm not the food police.
Oh, I'm not the food police. And being the food police would be way too stressful for me
Yeah.
because I can't control what they're going to be eating.
Right.
I can't control what my brothers eat, what my sisters eat, what my friends eat. I can't control it, and it
No.
would make me mental.
Totally.
So you have to let go of stuff like that. But you know, there's so many food issues today. Oh, I'm gluten free, or oh, I'm celiac, or oh, I'm this, I'm that.
Right.
Many people have many things. I'm allergic to peanuts. I have an allergy to. Well, in the restaurant one night, there was a lady came in and said, I have an allergy to nutmeg, and I went, oh, you were in the wrong restaurant, dear. You gotta go. So, you know, it's like everything would be contaminated by then. So, it's just how much information do we tell people is what I'm finding the struggle is, because on the vegan websites where I'm talking to other vegans who are brand new vegans as well, and they're saying the backlash at home is just horrific.
Well, I think maybe there are two parts to that question, because I think part of it is when you're out in the world and you're announcing that you are, it's nobody's business. And furthermore, unless that person is literally going to cook for you, then they don't need to know.
Yes.
And so for that, now, listen, I had massive backlash in my own family. I was mocked, I was made fun of.
Wow.
There were concerns that someone was going to have to eat the food I was making. And
I
I
am
did
shocked.
not feel supported at
Wow,
all.
because I had zero of that.
Well, obviously
Nothing.
your husband was eight.
He was
We're
wonderful.
still running. We're still good.
My children, same thing. Mom,
Yeah.
Mom, now is this okay for you? Now, Mom, is going to be food for you and whatever? And I try and say, I'll bring my own. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
It bothers me that some people
And I think
are
if
bothered.
and I've had a few clients where I've had to give them some coaching on being compassionate to these folks and say, sometimes what we need to do is just say, listen, it's working for me. This is what I'm doing right now. I'm certainly not asking you to do it.
No.
I know in my case, I was actually shocked by the backlash, because I was still fully cooking the sausages. I was married to a German, sausages and the whole 9 yards, and eating my part, not asking anyone to do anything. And so what really bothered me was how I was being mocked and not supported in front of my children, who then were just mirroring that.
I know. And it's too bad we can't just look at that person and say, you know what, you don't get a vote. Sorry.
Yeah, well, and that's true though,
You don't
right?
get a vote.
It is true.
Yeah.
So, and I think, I have to be honest, Glenda, I think you raise a really, really good point about where do we fall into all of this? And the truth is, that's part of the personal growth of all of this. Because
Isn't that true?
Yeah, eating vegan is, the actual act of starting to eat the 5 food groups, the legumes, the whole grains, the fruit, the veg, and the nuts and seeds.
Right.
That's one part. That's the easy part.
That's the easy part.
The other part is when, you have to show up somewhere. Well, I had to show up and tell my mother, no, thank you, that I didn't want a piece of her pie. And surprisingly, at first she would say, it won't hurt you, and I said, you're probably right, Mom. But right now I'm eating this way because I really want to check my health. I didn't have an active health scare, but I was 44 maybe, and I was doing my blood work, and my cholesterol was still good, but I was like, it could be better. My weight could be better.
Sure.
And because I have a nursing background, I had this obsession with, I know that what we do with our health, the health choices and health habits we make have a direct impact. You can see it if you look around, and now you and I are living proof of that.
Right? Most definitely.
I can tell you, I don't know how you are right now, but you said you have the energy of 3 people.
I do.
I feel better than I felt in my 30s. I'm 57. I feel better than I felt in my 30s.
Yeah.
I
So,
really do.
same thing. I'm 67, so same thing. I'm like 2 decades going. I mean, I could do, Anne of Green Gables is a 3-hour show. We used to do a double day, like an afternoon and an evening. And when I was in my 30s, the girl doing Anne at the time, Gracie Finley, we would go home in between shows. Now, she's playing Anne. It's just like a big show.
Yeah.
And we'd make jam. You see, that's when we do all our pickling and our jamming in between the 2 shows.
That's such a good little story.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
and so And then as I was getting older, into my 50s, like, you know that jam thing we were doing? I'm not doing that anymore. Because I would have to have a nap. Because I would have to have a nap, Shelley.
Well, that's understandable.
So
That's a lot.
now,
Sure, I might have to.
I know I could do those 2 shows and make jam. That's what I
And
know.
it
I don't
feels
need
good,
to have
you
that
know?
nap.
That quality of life is
Yeah.
just, you cannot buy it.
No.
You can't buy it.
No, exactly.
So I
Yeah.
just want to thank, I'm going to wrap up. I want to
Okay.
thank you so much for joining me, because you're just such a delight and a real inspiration, because you're living, you know, the plant-based lifestyle,
Lifestyle.
and you have your, you know,
Yep.
you are still fully engaged in your non-plant-based community, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything else you would like to tell our viewers about this, just to so we can
I would
finish
like
up?
to say, on the hard days, on the days when you just want something on your palate that tastes like what it used to be, that's okay. It's just okay. And it's being kind to yourself. And it's saying, you know, today you're still looking after yourself, because if you don't do that, it's stressful. And so, like we were talking about jumping in or leaning in, it might just be, I used to say to my children when we were going shopping, I'd say, now, they come to me, Mommy, is this a looking day or a buying day? See, so we get that out in the open right before we go anywhere, and I'd say, oh, it's just a looking day today, and Thea would say, Randy, it's a looking day. So what I'm saying to you is that it's either a jumping in day or a leaning in day. What day is it today? It's going to be a leaning in day. That's just super, because tomorrow might be the jumping in day, and then before you know it, they're mostly jumping in days. I'm mostly at the jumping in days now. But trust me, I had leaning in days as I was making the transition. But the transition is almost complete for me now. But as I say, I'm almost at the 2 years. It's not that it's going to happen in 4 weeks or 6
No.
weeks. Don't expect it's going to, but love yourself and be kind to yourself.
I love it.
Yeah.
Give you a hug. Thank you so much, honey. Oh, that was so good.
That
thank
was
you,
lovely.
thank you, thank
That
you.
was lovely. Wasn't that fun?
Thanks for helping, Cheryl.
Oh my God.